So I've been rewatching Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1, and I want to do a new series on this channel where I analyze each episode one by one because every episode is nuts. Now you probably already knew this, but the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is actually heavily based on a Japanese TV show, the title of which roughly translates as Dinosaur Squadron Beast Rangers. Now when I say it's heavily based, I'm being generous because each episode of the Power Rangers is about 50% original content and 50% random clips pulled from the Japanese TV show. In fact, in most episodes of the Power Rangers, including episode 1, the one we're going to look at in a minute, they actually get clips from different episodes of the Japanese TV show and put them together to try and make one scene, which results in some confusing stuff. Anyway, in true Power Ranger style, let's get started. Whoa. After the credits, the first thing we see is some astronauts landing on a mysterious planet. Now, before we go any further, can I just say that is not how rockets work. They don't land like they're not planes. Anyway, these two astronauts see what appears to be some kind of space dumpster and they foolishly open it, which releases a bunch of aliens led by the evil Rita Repulsa. Now, one of the first things she says when she gets out is this.
Don't leave! You'll miss my coming out party! That's when I destroy the nearest planet!
Now the planet she's looking at is Earth, which means they must be on Mars, probably? I mean, they can't be on the moon because we saw the astronauts go past the moon on the way. Now in the Japanese version of the show, they tell you that this is actually the planet Nemesis that has only just come back into Earth orbit after thousands of years of being in space. The English version doesn't mention anything like this, which just leaves everyone watching confused as hell. After that, some stuff happens down on Earth and we're introduced to the teenagers that will soon become the Power Rangers. Then suddenly we cut back to Rita Repulsa and her gang, and suddenly they're on the moon and they're in a castle. How the hell did they get to the moon? Did they steal the rocket of those astronaut guys? Are those astronaut guys dead? Also, where's the castle from? Is the castle on the moon? Did they just build it? Anyway, next Rita causes some kind of earthquake and we suddenly meet Zordon and Alpha 5, and Zordon, the floating head, says this.
Hey, what do we do?
Teleport to us 5 overbearing and over-emotional humans.
No, not that, not teenagers.
That's correct, Alpha.
I was afraid of that.
What kind of weird computer is that? What button did he press? The Get Racially Diverse Kids button. Anyway, first of all, the teenagers don't want to be Power Rangers, so they leave the base and head out into the desert where they are attacked by putty patrollers who are the henchmen of Rita Repulsa. Now remember when I said earlier that the cuts between the American scenes and the stolen Japanese scenes result in some confusing stuff? That's about to start. The teens get overwhelmed and decide that maybe they do actually need to morph into the Power Rangers. They do so, and immediately Zordon pops up and comes up with a reason for them to suddenly teleport back into the city.
Teleport them to Angel Grove City. Frieza just sent down Goldar.
Where are we going? Alright, let's do it!
Now you may or may not notice, but the color gradient and stuff starts to get a little bit different, and that's because this is a scene taken from the Japanese show. That's why the writers of the American version had to come up with that quick line to explain why the Power Rangers were now in the city instead of the desert. Another interesting thing about this part is that the Yellow Ranger in the Japanese version was actually played by a male. So if you look closely and also ignore the female karate noises they've dubbed over the top, you can see the Yellow Ranger has a male body shape. And also that's why the Yellow Ranger doesn't have a skirt and the Pink Ranger does. Anyway, suddenly Goldar, the dude they're fighting, grows to enormous heights and the Rangers realize they might need to call upon their dinosaur Zords. This results in another weird, confusing scene because when Goldar first gets bigger, they're right in the middle of the city, but when the Zords join together and they're fighting Goldar, suddenly they're out in the forest. The reason for that is the city fighting scenes and the forest scenes are actually taken from 2 different episodes of the Japanese show. They've put them together and it doesn't make sense because they just disappear from the city to the... What's going on? Also, when the teens are driving their Zords for the very first time, we hear them say this.
This is amazing! I seem to know how to drive this thing!
Affirmative, I do too. It's almost like second nature to me.
Now in the Japanese version of the show, the Dinosaur Squadron were actually ancient warriors from dinosaur tribes who were woken up from suspended animation to fight Rita when she emerged from the dumpster. So that explains why the Japanese Rangers could drive the Zords, but in the English version it's just random teenagers. So instead we get a weird dubbed line over some footage to explain away something that again makes no sense. That's all I'm going to talk about for now, but please jump in the comments and let's talk about other dumb stuff that happened in episode 1 because there's so much. I can't wait to do episode 2 because episode 2 makes no effing sense at all. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Click like if you like, subscribe, blah 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 blah, end.